right, sweet. Flatline MMA podcast episode number 17. The boys are rolling. Oh, and we brought a special guest. You guys know him. He's got the McGregor beard. His name is Zach, and he's a Flatline boy too. He's at the bottom. Let's just get right into it. You guys know the deal. Flatline MMA is sponsored by CBD Medic. Get 10% off all of your CBD needs. Click the link down below. Use the code Flatline10 for all your CBD needs. Just go get it. Gronk still uses it. You should go use it. All right, sweet. Great show for you today. We had a stellar card, UFC246, headlined by the one, the only, the notorious Conor McGregor taking on Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Listen, we said it before. It was a little bit of a lackluster card kind of going into it. I think really at the end, just from my opinion alone, I thought it ended up being a decent card, obviously, with the main event kind of being a nice little thriller there. Conor getting it done quick time. So we'll talk about that, and then we can talk about just preview quick co-main and main events for this weekend's Fight Night 166, Raleigh, North Carolina. So we'll get into that. But overall, UFC 246, boys, I think we just start off. Let's just start off on the prelims. Just want to touch on one quick fight. Drew Dober taking on Nasrat Haqparast. Don't even want to attempt his last name there. Drew Dober, very impressive knockout. Nasrat came in with a lot of hype, and I think he was the favorite in this fight. And Dober put him away early. Unbelievable knockout. I know he got a couple shots in. Now, probably unnecessary at the end. I know we were just talking about that.
Yeah, more than a couple.
More than
a couple unnecessary ones.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. He knocked him out. I was like, okay, it's over. And then, dude, he landed at least like 15 more shots in his face.
Yeah, dude, the ref didn't do anything. He just watching him just get concussed repeatedly.
Oh, dude, insane. I think he won a performance bonus for that one. So good for him. He's a freaking killer, man. I'm excited to see where he goes from here because it was impressive, man. He was freaking shredded in there. He was looking good. I think another fight that I thought, was going to be a fight of the night worthy, Sadiq Youssef taking on Andre Fili. Obviously, Andre Fili being a UFC vet. He's taken on everyone in the featherweight division. Sadiq Youssef, someone who's kind of an up-and-comer here, right? He came from Dana White's Contender Series, undefeated in the UFC right now. I think he's 10-1 overall, 11-1, obviously, after Saturday night. But I think just impressive performance by Sadiq, man. He's the real deal. I thought he was able to control Philly a lot to get that decision win. What do you guys think of that one?
I think Philly won that fight, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I think Sadiq had the second. Andre definitely had the third. And I think the first round was kind of a toss-up, but I still gave it to Andre. I think he won that fight, to be honest.
Really? Okay. Zach, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a close fight too. I thought it'd be more one-sided in favor of Youssef, but I think Philly did a lot better than I thought.
Yeah.
I'd still give it to Sadiq for the win.
Yeah, I definitely seen the just off of like Twitter, just the back and forth. Like, oh, some people thought Philly won, some people thought Youssef won. If you're playing the UFC's game, who do you want to win in this situation? Obviously, you want Youssef to win. He's the young up and comer, Nigerian, right? I think it's more like that kid's a beast. He's definitely got a future, but like Kev said, Philly hung in there, man. It definitely was close. I agree with you, Zach. I think it was a little bit more clear-cut Youssef, but I know that was a kind of a 50-50 there. So excited to see what Youssef does next. Philly, he's always in the mix, so he's going to get another big fight. Doesn't really matter with him. And then the shocker right here, which, hey, we called it on last episode. Roxanne Modafferi taking on the heavily favorited Macy Barber. I think she might have closed as a minus 1,100 favorite, which was the heaviest favorite on the card. Macy Barber coming with a ton of hype. She's undefeated. Roxanne, really kind of that, the veteran. She's got a ton of fights under her belt, right? Guys, it was friggin' I don't even know what to say. It was a unanimous decision. Roxanne did everything right. Okay, listen. I know that Macy tore her ACL mid-fight, but that first round was all Roxanne. I think she overwhelmed Macy. Macy was on her back the entire first round, had no answer for that top game. And overall, just I'm super happy for Roxanne because that's like she just took on someone that no one thought she could beat, other than us two, of course. But what do you guys think about that one? Because I know that was kind of a shocker for everyone.
Yeah, no, it was a fun first round to watch Roxanne take her down and see Macy kind of face some adversity. But
First time.
Macy even looked pretty good on the ground. She got some reversals. And, to finish the fight out with a torn ACL, it's just shows that she's got a lot of heart. But, yeah, Roxanne definitely took that fight. And, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was impressed that she kept fighting after tearing her ACL. I was reading that her coach was saying that Barber tore her ACL in like the first 10 seconds of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't see that. I didn't think so. And then I think it was midway through the second round, like you mentioned, Kevin, where she tries to duck. I don't know if she missed a punch or what. She was off balance, and she eats a jab from Roxanne, and then her knee, you can see where her knee buckles. To me, that was a clear-cut point where she tore her ACL.
Yeah.
Her team was trying to say, almost as if it was like an excuse for her performance, that she was losing, that she tore it in the first round, but you can't see that. So I agree with you guys. I was impressed with Roxanne over that win. Definitely got to respect her grappling.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it was clear when she tore her ACL to be cool. I don't think 10 seconds in that happened. I think that might just be an excuse from her team. But yeah, I mean, with her, I know she's getting a lot of shit for like taking the mic from Joe Rogan and like apologizing to everyone, but I'm just glad that she didn't like take the mic and like blame it on her knee or anything. She's like, Roxanne is a vet. Like, I'm so honored to like, and I honestly gained respect from her, to be completely honest, because she didn't blow it up and make it about her. Yeah, she took the mic from Rogan, and most losers who aren't on the main, most losers who aren't on the main card like get to talk. So like, I think that's why people were shitting on her. But I mean, I know like guys like Ben Askren, who not her coach, but trains with her or whatever, said that she'd be champion by the end of 2020. I mean, guys, you put that Macy Barber in the friggin' octagon with Valentina, she's gonna get murked. No, there's absolutely no chance. Obviously, she's coming to a lot of hype. What do you think for someone like her, after kind of seeing her in the octagon? Obviously, she hurt her knee, but like, do you think this affects her at all? That one loss and obviously having that brutal injury in there. Like, where do you see her going next from here?
I still think she's gonna be pretty popular with the UFC just because of how young she is and all the other fights that she has. But I think she's gonna be out for 9 months.
9 months,
with this injury. So it definitely sets her back with where she wants to be. Yeah, it does stink.
Yeah, I mean, just overall, just for that to headline the prelims, a big, huge upset like that. How can you not feel for Roxanne? She's like the nicest person in the world. Is she a little bit weird? Yeah, of course she's weird, but she, nothing but class. And she even kind of said it. She goes, obviously I knew her leg was hurt and I wasn't going after it. And I know a lot of people kind of criticize Roxanne being like, you literally missed out on a knockout bonus or something like that because you could have went after her leg. You could have got the finish against her, but she's just like so respectful. She's like, listen, I knew her leg was injured. I'm not going to go after her torn ACL leg, right? And cause maybe permanent damage. You know what I mean? So you got to get hats off to Roxanne. I hope she gets something big next. I know it was a big fight. A lot of eyes were on her just because of being on the Conor card. Obviously fighting someone like Macy, she's the biggest favorite on the card, but I think that raises her stock, man. And I think just good for her. I was so happy to see her win, especially because we called it on the show, episode 16. Go back and watch it.
And the thing with the 125, that was at 125, right? At flyweight, their fight?
Yeah, that was a flyweight, yeah.
So the flyweight division's so shallow. I think, like, with that win, she can definitely she made a statement.
Oh, 100%.
Everybody's hyped on Barber, so maybe they'll put Roxanne higher up in the rankings. We'll see.
Yeah.
I can't even think of a lot of names from flyweight. I mean, there's Sajar, Eubanks. That's the only other name that I really know.
I mean, you got to think all the flyweights are just like sacrificial lambs to Valentina. So it's like we don't even need to know their names. No, flyweight division is super exciting. I'm excited to see, people actually give Valentina a great fight. You know what I mean? She's just been friggin' murking people. So I'm excited to see what happens next. But yeah, if Roxanne gets a nice push in the rankings, I'd love to see her make a move for the title. I know she's getting up there in age. Obviously, the age gap between her and Macy was incredible. So I don't know how much she has left in the tank, but it looked like she did a great job on Saturday. So good for her.
Got 2 knee braces on.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're
She's a
sliding
friggin'
off the whole fight.
oh my God, she's an absolute sicko. So good for her. We're happy for you, Roxanne. And then moving to the main card, kind of kicking off the main card here, we had Anthony Pettis taking on Carlos Diego Ferreira. Ferreira kind of getting it done with the second round submission. I don't know, man. I think Pettis just looked friggin' sloppy. It felt like he quit in there. I don't know. I didn't like his performance at all. I know, no, not to discredit Carlos at all. Hell of a fight. He's a hell of a fighter. He's on a 6-fight win streak right now. After that, but did anyone else feel like Pettis just kind of went in there and just didn't perform like he should have?
He got his back taken so many times.
Yeah.
You guys noticed that?
That was driving me crazy too. But I thought he had a pretty good first round until he got taken down. He was doing pretty good on the feet, but then he goes in second round, gets taken down immediately.
Yeah.
And gives up his back a bunch of times, and you knew one of the times he was going to get his neck taken. So I don't know. It was kind of disappointing in that second round just to see him get taken down right away and then just roll to his stomach a bunch of times.
That's why I felt like he just quit in there and he just didn't. I don't know. I know he's on a little bit of a skid. So, I mean, I don't know if it's the weight cut or whatever. I thought he looked decent in there. Maybe he goes back to 170. Obviously, coming off that friggin' Wonder Boy knockout. Like, why wouldn't you stay in that division? You just took out a guy that's never been knocked out. I would have just stayed at 170, to be completely honest.
Yeah, no, he's had a tough couple of past fights. Like,
yeah,
even in that Wonder Boy fight, he really wasn't winning that fight until that point.
Yeah, that's true.
He was getting beat up pretty good. And then, he had the Diaz fight where he got beat up and Ferguson fight. So he's had a tough go these past couple fights.
Yeah, he's been alternating win-losses. I think this was the first time he's had 2 losses in a row in a while, but otherwise it's been win-lose, win-lose. And, I was surprised, too, that he lasted – when he fought Charles Oliveira, like, he was getting out-grappled for the majority of that fight before Oliveira gassed. And Oliveira was on his back for so long.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't tap him. And Oliveira is a great grappler. But then, I mean, I was impressed that Ferreira was able to actually choke Pettis out because I didn't think that he'd be able to compared to when Pettis fought other grapplers. So I don't know. Yeah. How old is he now? Actually, that's the real question. He got to be in his 30s.
Pettis is.
Yeah. I mean, he's had a ton of fights. So he's been fighting since WEC, right? Yeah.
Let me see. Anthony Pettis' age. He's 32. Yeah.
Oh, so he's not even that old, but he's just had so many. He's been fighting forever.
Well, dude, he started so young. He's like a Nate Diaz, right? Like Nate Diaz is like 32 as well, but it's like they all started when they were like 18, 19 years old. It's like crazy. But yeah, really impressed with Ferreira, man. I know Pettis is kind of one of those guys, like ever since he lost the belt, right? He's kind of been like the gatekeeper to most divisions. Like, hey, you beat him, you're going to get a big fight after that, stuff like that. So Ferreira kind of set himself up. I think Pettis was I think he was number 11 in the division. So, you got to think Ferreira takes that spot. Maybe he gets a top 10 opponent next. So excited.
He's on a tear too, Ferreira. He's on like a 5-fight winning streak.
Yeah.
6 fights, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was impressed with him, man.
Games too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll see what they do with him next. Anthony Pettis, I kind of have another opinion on him. I'll bring him up shortly because I have a good fight that I think would be good for him. But kind of moving on here, I know we had a couple fights in between, but figure we kind of just jump right to the co-main event. Actually, before that, just kind of wanted to touch upon Claudia Gadelha, Alexa Grasso. I know that fight didn't happen. Grasso came in 5.5 pounds too heavy. Disappointing because I really wanted to see that one because I think that could have been a fight of the night worthy one. Claudia always brings it. Grasso always brings it. Unfortunate that Nevada just didn't let them do it. I feel like it kind of should be up to the fighters. Like if Claudia really wanted it, like they should have fought. Grasso still gave up her purse. She gave up like 30% of her purse, and she didn't even fight. So it's like, why not? Why didn't they just fight? So I know that's what a lot of people wanted to see. Hopefully they rebook that on the next card or do whatever. So, and then just kind of moving straight to the co-main event, we had Holly Holm taking on Raquel Pennington. Kevin's shaking his head here. This was a rematch. Holly Holm getting the decision, and to be completely honest, I don't even. There shouldn't be a winner in this one. I know you guys both agree with me, but I know Kevin's fuming over there, even talking about this one. But I'm gonna let Kevin just go with this one. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, I don't know how they judged that fight.
I don't either.
Because they were just in the clinch on the cage the entire time. I think they just gave it to Holly because her back wasn't on the cage most of the time. But it was like
nothing happened. You're right.
I'm so glad it wasn't a 5-round fight.
So frustrating.
Yeah, because nothing happened. It was so boring.
Does anyone just like look at Holly Holm? Like, I respect the shit out of her, right? But like, what happened to her after the Ronda fight? Like, why isn't she like using any of her boxing or any of her kickboxing? Like, she used to be a killer. Like, what is going on with her?
I know. I really don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like you said, like before the Ronda fight, and you know, even after the Ronda fight when she fought Miesha Tate, she ended up losing that one.
Yeah.
That fight was boring up until she got choked out by Miesha, too.
Yeah.
The thing is, Holly Holm always fights on the counter, on the back foot. She can't lead. Like, she can't lead with her strikes. Like, she's never pressuring someone or anything like that. So she's always on the back foot. And then if no one's, swinging at her or charging her like Ronda did, it's going to be a boring fight and she's not going to do anything.
Yeah. Well, when she does charge, because sometimes she'll do that, she just telegraphs it and she never connects. Just throw like 3 or 4 punches and miss with every single one of them. I don't know what's going on with her, but this was such a boring fight, and I actually kind of feel bad for Raquel because I think she wanted to fight. It just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Went Holly's way.
I know she posted something on Instagram after. She's like, hey, I just want to say, like, sorry to all my fans. Like, I didn't want to be hugged the whole fight. And it's like, it's so true. It's like, it was so frustrating to watch. Like, you think they're going to get into the clinch and like exchange. And like, it's just, I couldn't believe that it was 3 rounds of that.
Yeah.
Even Dana White came out and said how like, it was bullshit. You know what I mean? It was just not exciting, man. It's like to put like that kind of fight as the co-main event on like such
why would they do that, man? Like Holly Holm has a history of snoozers for her fights. Why wouldn't they put someone that, like, say they had McGregor fighting, they could have put anybody they want to build up in that co-main slot and people would watch it, and they could have made a name for other people. Instead they put Holly Holm. I don't know if they still think she has name value, or they're trying to extract whatever was left from that knockout. How many years ago was the Rousey knockout?
We're talking a while now. Yeah. But dude, now just think about it. This is what Holly does do. Whether she wins, whether she loses, she gets a title shot after everything. It's like the craziest thing ever. So I wouldn't be surprised if they announce her fighting for the bantamweight title. I really wouldn't be surprised. But it's just like, why not put Macy Barber in that position? Like co-main event right behind Conor. There's going to be eyes on her. Like, I feel like if you wanted to build them up, or Sadiq, or whoever the fuck you want to put on there, it needed to be bigger than that fight. No offense to them, but it was so boring.
Or put someone that could fight either the winner of the McGregor-Cerrone fight, someone that you'd want to see McGregor fight next, put them on that card in that slot to like make a story for the next fight or something. I don't know, dude. I'm not a matchmaker, but how do you look at any of her previous fights and say, oh, this is going to be a barn burner if they come in? It's boggles my mind.
Just insane. I don't know. Obviously, tough loss for Pennington. Obviously, that was the rematch. So I don't know where she goes from here. She kind of always looms, within the top 15 here. So she's a good fighter. It just sucks to see that she wasn't able to get out of that position and like make something happen. Obviously, Holly, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if she gets a friggin' title shot. I don't even know. So that one sucked. That was a snooze fest. And then we take to the main event here. we got the notorious one, Conor McGregor, coming back from his 18-month layoff, from his beating of Khabib, from the beatdown, taking on fan favorite, UFC legend, UFC record man, Donald Cowboy Cerrone. I know coming in here, a lot of people said, Cerrone, he's going to head kick Conor, or he's going to take this to the ground and submit him. And Cowboy comes out, says he's going to stand and trade with Conor. People think he's friggin' crazy. Conor, all week, he's the more humbled Conor. Did Khabib make him humble? I don't know, maybe. Khabib said it, I didn't. But I think we definitely saw a different side of Conor during fight week. He was humble. He was respectful. He wasn't drunk. He wasn't flaunting Prop at 12 everywhere. The fight starts. Conor comes out. He friggin' knees Cerrone in the face. He's doing fucking 4 shoulder strikes. Cerrone breaks his nose. And then out of all the things to happen, Conor finishes him with a friggin' head kick. Of all the things, right? 40 seconds. Cowboy's down. Conor lands some ground strikes, and it's called. 40 seconds in. The Notorious is one. The Notorious one's back. What do you guys think? I know you guys texted me right afterwards, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll let you go, Zach.
I mean, Kev, I was typed. After the whole fight, I was so ticked off. I was just ranting to you in the text. Man, as soon as I felt like the Pettis fight was good. I liked the submission from Olynyk. Like, that was a decent showing. But the rest of the card, I mean, in the prelims weren't bad, but the main event, like the card was so disappointing in my mind. And then to have the main event, like, it was cool. It was had the like the sparks were flying. It was entertaining, but 40 seconds, dude, kills me. Kills me. I wish it was longer. I don't care about the results. I mean, I think it's cool that Conor wins because now we got some. I'm sure we're gonna get some interesting fights coming up because of that. But I just wish it was an actual fight. 40 seconds is not enough.
Do you guys think that it was rigged?
No, I mean, dude, it was rigged from a matchmaking perspective. Cerrone's a notorious slow starter. McGregor is super hot in the first round with his strikes and everything. So I think that, and Cerrone literally said he's going to stand and trade with him. I think that it was from that way. You could say it's rigged from it being a favorable matchup. But dude, there's no way that. Hey, you think they paid him to take a dive?
No, I don't. But I'm on friggin' our Twitter all night.
Oh yeah, like people saying that.
People saying that it's rigged, and I'm standing there. I'm just like, don't you think if Cowboy would make more money if he beat Conor, and then he's in friggin' title contention at welterweight? Like he makes it's better for his career if he doesn't take a dive against Conor. So that just pissed me off. There was all the excuses for Cowboy. Oh, he's washed up, this and that. But Cowboy literally just fought Tony Ferguson. He literally fought Justin Gaethje. But when those guys fought Cowboy, no one said anything when Justin knocked him out in the first round. No one said anything when TKO'd him in the second. You know what I mean? So I think just, there's obviously a ton of people that hate Conor. But Kev, what did you think about the whole fight? What did you think about Conor's strategy? What did you think about those shoulder strikes, for Christ's sakes? Those things were deadly.
Yeah, like in the short time that the fight went on, like I feel like Cerrone was doing all right, up until the very end. Like Conor runs out and just throws a left hand immediately, like a big one. And Cerrone ducks it like he's supposed to, tries for the takedown like he's supposed to, comes up. They're in the clinch. And I've never, ever seen a shoulder strike do any type of damage.
No, never.
So I don't blame Cerrone for, I think it was the second one that really got him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame him for taking that. So that was a little surprising.
Yeah.
Because you see his nose immediately bleeding. He's got a black eye. So definitely messed up his nose there. But when he got hit with the head kick, it was like he just completely – I mean, I don't know what it's like. I mean, he's probably out of it. But, you would think, if you did decide to curl up, you'd try to grab a leg or do something. He just kind of curled up and just covered.
Yeah.
It was – he wasn't showing the ref that he was trying to improve his position or get out. So, I don't know. I was a little disappointed, but
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, I think obviously, would we all like to see it, go on a little bit longer? Yeah. But the way I
I
look
wouldn't
at it
say that
as,
was a bad stoppage, though. I think the ref gave him more than enough time to
oh yeah,
improve his position.
yeah. I look at it as Connor didn't take a punch. He didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
That just means that he can come back quicker. And I want to see more Conor McGregor in 2020. I know he's got some big fights ahead of him. Every fight with Conor is big. Everyone calls him out. I guess my next question would be for both of you, right? Who do you want to see him fight next? Honestly, and for what? Like whether it's a BMF belt, the welterweight title, lightweight title, who do you guys want to see him fight next?
Kev, you can go first on this one.
Yeah, I mean, he's got so many fights pretty much lined up for him. I think he's got the pick of what he wants. He's always gonna have the Diaz fight.
Yep.
Masvidal fight. He could. I don't think he deserves it, but I think he could probably get the Usman fight if he wanted to. I mean, I feel like what he could do is just create so much hype behind it. Like he's so good with the promotion and everything that like once Dana starts seeing those numbers, I don't know. I feel like that could potentially happen.
Yeah.
But who would I like to see him? I'd like to see him go back to 155, to be honest.
To take on.
What about Poirier? What about a Poirier rematch?
I kind of like the idea of that. I don't think it makes sense for Conor though, because it's such a dangerous fight for him, and it's not. I don't know. I think he wants to stay close to that title, so maybe like a Gaethje, Ferguson, or it might even be.
Would be the fight to make.
Please, so my pick. I'll go fucking next. I want Gaethje more than anything because I think. Personally, I think it's a great matchup for Conor because Gaethje already came out and said, like Cowboy, he's not going to take McGregor down. He's going to be the first man to knock him out. Obviously, other than Floyd Mayweather, that wasn't in MMA, that was in boxing. But I think a Justin Gaethje Conor McGregor fight is unreal. I think that's what he needs to do next. If he beats Gaethje, he just proves to everyone that he's still a badass, that he still can knock out anyone. I don't want him to jump straight to George. I don't want him to jump straight to Masvidal. I think that's a tough fight coming off the Cowboy fight. I think he needs to take on Gaethje at 170. That's what I would like to see. I know John Kavanaugh came out and said that's what he wants to see too. I agree.
Why 170?
Because I think you let Conor just get comfortable at 170. No weight cut. No weight cut at all.
I don't think that makes sense for him though, because like Gaethje at 170 is a lot different than Masvidal at 170.
I just think
one of them's coming up to make that weight. The other one's coming down from probably 200 pounds, and then coming in fight night like 180, 185.
I just think with someone with Gaethje's like friggin' hands, I know he's got dynamite in his hands, right? He's someone that if he can take punches if Conor can take punches from Gaethje, right? You're looking at a guy like Masvidal who has ridiculous boxing too. I just think that prepares him. And I think if it's more for what the UFC wants is they want Conor to win that third belt. They want him to be the first ever triple champ. They want him to flaunt those 3 belts. That's what they want to do. And I think preventing him from I think the Khabib rematch will be there eventually. But the way I look at it is I also think that this is setting up. I know Dana said it's not going to happen, but I think this sets up the 165-pound division that only one man could create it, and that's Conor. He can create his own belt, just like Nate did. I think he could create his own division. So I think taking on the most dangerous guys at 170 where he doesn't have to cut weight and make excuses, whatever, I think it just helps him. So I would love to see him fight Gaethje, then Jorge, or whatever. Like Kevin said, he kind of runs the UFC, right? If Conor wants the welterweight title shot before George, he's gonna get the welterweight title shot before Masvidal, right? But I love a Gaethje fight because I think it's exciting. You know what I mean? I think it's he'll prove to people that he just took out the scariest dude in the division, behind a Tony or Khabib, whatever. And then there's obviously the Khabib rematch. Do I even want to see the Khabib rematch right now? Absolutely. No. Do that at the end of the year. Do that end of the year, beginning of 2021. I want to see Conor knock people out like he used to. So, Zach, what do you think? If he could fight anyone next, who do you want?
I would prefer him to just ditch the whole 170 thing. If he's going to
Really?
fight at 170, I think Masvidal will be a fun matchup. I mean, I would really look forward to that fight. But I would prefer him to go down to 155 because I think he has some good a lot more fun matchups. I think at 155. I think the Poirier rematch. Poirier's developed technically a ton since their first matchup.
Savage.
So that would be a great fight. I think the Gagey fight's the one to make.
Yeah.
I would pay the pay-per-view if it was just me alone watching it to watch it. Man. That would be sick. It'd probably end very fast, but who knows, man. That's the fight to make, in my opinion. And I think the Khabib fight, no, that's too soon, and he hasn't. If he's gonna take a rematch like that, he should fight some of the top guys, prove that he's up there. I mean, I think they should pair him up with another grappler so he can prove that he's not going to get dominated again. But give him, dude. Why waste him on a poor matchup? He's not going to fight a lot. Put him in the barn burner fights. Put him in Gagey. Put him in Masvidal. Put him with Poirier. Put him in the fun fights. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him get smothered by Usman. I don't want to see that. I just want to see the fun matchups. Because I don't think he's gonna. I don't want to see him have a belt because he's gonna get a belt, never defend it. I'd rather just they pair him up with big fights, fun matchups. That's
Yeah. Now we can get back to what is probably going to happen next. I'm assuming it's going to be Conor Jorge next. Does everyone kind of agree on that one? I think that's the fight to make next.
I don't know what's the most probable out of all of them.
So the odds came out today, and Jorge had the best odds. It was like Jorge, Khabib, to be completely honest, because here's another question for you guys. So Conor came out and he thinks that April 18th, Khabib versus Tony isn't going to happen. He's going to slide right in. Do you think he does that? Honestly, I know he talks the big game, but do you think Tony gets injured, whatever? I'm not going to look because that's the only fight I want to see in UFC freaking history. But does he actually slide in and face a Khabib or a Tony on, a couple months' notice just like this? Like, say it falls out.
Hurt.
Yeah.
If someone gets hurt, I could see them doing that because they figure why not. They want to recover their losses on the pay-per-view advertising, but man, I hope not. I hope that fight, Khabib and Tony, has to happen.
It needs to.
6 times a charm.
I just like that fight. It's the most important fight in history of the UFC. It's going to determine who the best lightweight of all time, in my opinion, is 12-fight win streaks. It needs to happen. And then because I look at it as if I'm Conor, hell no am I not stepping in on short notice against any of those guys. Why would you step in short notice versus Tony if Khabib gets hurt? Or why would you step in on short notice if Khabib gets hurt? Conor is fixated that, he drank and did all this stuff during the Khabib fight. It could be excuses. It could be whatever. But, I agree with you, Zach, you, Kevin. I think they need to build him up, get 2-3 fights under his belt, then take on Khabib/Tony or whoever holds the belt at that time. But I think that, I don't know, Dana's all about money fights. I think Jorge Conor is the biggest money fight just because of the 2019 that Jorge had. And Jorge coming to UFC 246 with Conor's Versace robe on that he wore for the Mayweather fight, trying to get a rise out of Conor. I just think that's the biggest money fight next. Does Gaethje make a ton of money with Conor too? Yeah, everyone that fights Conor is going to be a big money fight. But I don't know. I know Bisping came out and said Nate Conor 3 is going to be next. But dude, who knows? His manager went on the Aravani show and was like, whatever motivates Conor is going to be next. It could be George. It could be Jose Aldo for all we know. You know what I mean? So it's he has so many options. Obviously, we all kind of have different people we want to see him face. So wherever he fights next, whoever he fights, I'm watching. So, and I think on the flip side, we look at Cerrone. I'm thinking what Cerrone does next. I think what him versus Pettis, the rematch. I think you do that. I like that.
Yeah, I can see
Wait,
that.
would you do 170?
I would do it at 170. Let Pettis go up. No weight cutting. I know Donald cuts a little bit of weight, but they're both on losing streaks. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a good fight. I don't know. I don't want to see Cowboy face like a Condit or someone that like that's just disrespectful. I feel like you still put Cowboy in there with some of the best. Him versus Pettis. That's it. I like that fight a lot.
Yeah, I'd like to see Cowboy take a break though.
You know he's
way too
going to fight next month. He's going to fight next month.
Yeah.
He gets on the mic and he literally goes, "It's all right. I love this shit." You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think just overall, I know we all have our mixed opinions. Personally, I thought UFC 246 was awesome. I think that's just because my boy Conor McGregor was on there, and I was just so happy to have him back. And was there a little proper 12 in me while I was watching the fights? Yeah, there was a lot of proper 12 in me. So super excited to see what he does next. You know, whatever Donald does next, he's still a legend, man. Can't take anything away from him. All these people online just ripping Cowboy are absolutely insane. No one who is tweeting at Cowboy has taken a head kick, has taken a shoulder to the friggin', you know what I mean? Like, has taken a left hand from Conor McGregor, like anything like that. You guys are all idiots if you are trying to come at Cowboy Cerrone. So, UFC 246, the return of Conor McGregor. I think we're all happy. It's good to see Conor back. Hopefully he's active this year. I'd love to see him fight 3-4 times. Who knows? You know he's a savage when he's laser focused. John Kavanaugh came out and said this was the best version of Conor McGregor we're going to see, and we'll go from there. And that's it. So, and I think just to kind of preview next week, we won't get into it too much, but we have UFC Fight Night 166. We have Curtis Blades taking on Junior Dos Santos in the main event, and in the co-main event, we have RDA taking on Michael Chiesa. Two exciting fights here. Obviously, RDA, you know, since he went to welterweight, he's been on a pretty good run. He's done pretty well. He just friggin' dismantled Kevin. Was it the Kevin? Did he dismantle Kevin Lee?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There. You know, Chiesa's. You know, I think he found his weight class in welterweight too. I know he had weight cut issues in 155, so that's going to be a super exciting fight. And then a heavyweight main event is always super fun. Oh, Zach, did you say something?
Sorry, no. The dog is dropping shit in my lap. My bad. I thought I muted the mic before I said that.
Yo, shout out to Dolce, everyone, at Dolce on Instagram. And then the main event, just a heavyweight fight, Curtis Blades, Junior Dos Santos. That's going to be an awesome fight. Junior Dos Santos, dynamite in his hands. Curtis Blades, probably one of the best wrestlers in the heavyweight division, probably one in the UFC. We can see what he does on the ground. So I think that style is going to be fun fight. So we'll kind of preview that on Instagram and all our posts there. But guys, anything else from your end?
Nope.
All right, cool. Appreciate it, guys. 2020 started off with a bang with UFC 246. More content. We're coming out with a bang, more Instagram, more Facebook, whatever you guys want to see. Put in the comments below. Smash that subscribe button. Go buy some CBD. You know what? And in the meantime, Flatline MMA. Peace.